She is Sigridur, 32 years old, and an incredibly attractive woman. But the lack of men in Iceland has her desperate. Despite her beauty and success, she faces a harsh reality. In her country, finding a partner has become an almost impossible mission. In her search for love, Sigridur is willing to do something surprising: pay a man to marry her. Can you imagine reaching that point? What seems like a dream straight out of a novel is a real option that some Icelandic women are considering. In this video, you'll see the reasons behind the shortage of men in Iceland, how women are facing this challenge, and why some are willing to go to such lengths to find a partner. Is paying for marriage really a viable solution? What do foreign men think about it? Stay with us to find out the answers to these questions and much more. Don't miss it. Before you learn why women pay men, you should know this. In Iceland, a country known for its stunning natural beauty and advanced stance on gender equality, there is a little-known reality that is profoundly affecting the personal relationships of its inhabitants. Despite being a global model for women's rights and gender equality, Iceland faces an unexpected problem: an alarming shortage of men. This gender imbalance has created a peculiar social phenomenon that goes beyond simple demographic statistics and has provoked a desperate reaction from Icelandic women. An unprecedented demographic imbalance. The lack of men in Iceland is neither a myth nor an exaggeration. It is a demographic trend that has become more pronounced over the years. There are many reasons for this imbalance, but the main one is male emigration. Many Icelandic men have chosen to move abroad in search of better job opportunities, while women have remained in their home country, driven by the solid labor and educational infrastructure that Iceland offers. Life on the island can be difficult for some men, who are often attracted to the world's big cities, where opportunities for work and personal growth seem more abundant. This phenomenon has created a social vacuum that has left many Icelandic women with few options for romantic relationships, especially in rural areas where the shortage of men is even more pronounced. Women who have traditionally enjoyed a high degree of autonomy and independence now find themselves in a situation where the partner that was once a natural choice has become a rarity. The impact of the shortage on relationships. This imbalance has led to an unexpected side effect: desperation. With few men available to marry or form a stable relationship, many Icelandic women have begun to experience social and emotional pressure to find their ideal partner. This phenomenon affects not only younger women hoping to find lasting love, but also those who, in their maturity, wish to have a family or continue their life as a couple. The fact that Icelandic women have many more opportunities to be successful in their professional lives, but fewer options when it comes to finding a partner, has created a profound emotional imbalance. In a country so committed to gender equality, the perception that women cannot find a man to share their lives with can feel like a puzzling contradiction. Iceland, which prides itself on its achievements in women's liberation, now faces a personal crisis it did not anticipate: women's desperation and the search for solutions. Faced with this shortage, some women have begun to resort to drastic solutions, ranging from paying for marriage to seeking partners in other countries. Offering money to men, which initially might have been seen as a provocative solution, is now a desperate measure to balance a society where the role of women is constantly being redefined. Desperation has led some women to see this option as a way to ensure that, in a world where opportunities are limited, they can at least have a life partner with whom to share their success. This phenomenon has brought about a change in the traditional dynamics of relationships, where women, instead of being seen as passive recipients of male attention, take an active role in creating their own lives and relationships. Although this type of marriage purchase is not universal or accepted by all Icelandic women, it has served as a response to a situation that no one had anticipated: the difficulty of finding a partner in such a small country. In Iceland, gender equality is not just an aspiration, it is a tangible reality. Women have achieved equality in the workplace, politics, and society that is unmatched in many parts of the world. This phenomenon is so ingrained in their society that even marriage, an institution traditionally dominated by patriarchal norms, has been altered to balance the scales. Thus, Icelandic women began offering money to men to marry them as a way to compensate for the disadvantages women have historically suffered in other cultures. The payment is not a simple economic transaction. It is based on a symbolic proposal of empowerment. It has become a way of ensuring that the commitment to marriage is voluntary, without social pressures forcing women to accept an unequal structure of roles within the relationship. Although this payment agreement is not universal or mandatory, it is an example of how Iceland has adapted to its contemporary values. Instead of following conventional norms where the man pays the dowry or provides financially, Icelandic women have decided to take the reins, investing in a commitment that not only reflects their autonomy, but also acts as a challenge to the traditional expectations of other countries. Iceland's economic structure has allowed women to have much greater purchasing power compared to many other nations, and therefore they have the means to offer incentives for marriage. The offer of money is not seen as a purchase of love, but as an act of equality, where women are on the same level as men, without feeling pressured by the standards of a society that still assigns predefined roles in marriage. The history behind the practice. Historically, Iceland has been a society that has questioned the status quo. Known for its advanced democracy and social activism, the Icelandic tradition of paying for marriage has its roots in a desire to redefine the role of women in the domestic sphere and in society in general. This practice is, in many ways, a consequence of women's liberation in the country, which has sought to eliminate traditional structures that relegate women to the role of submissive wives. Instead of being the recipients of a payment, Icelandic women took control of their own lives and decisions, challenging the idea that only men should be the ones to set the rules of marriage. By paying men, women not only offer them a share of their own success, but also indicate that they are willing to collaborate equally, without the need for pre-existing hierarchies. What does this mean for the future? This practice may sound unusual from an outside perspective, but it is a clear example of how social norms are changing around the world. Iceland has been a pioneer in the fight for gender equality, and this marriage payment is simply a reflection of Icelandic society's willingness to redefine what it means to be a man and a woman in the 21st century. Looking ahead, this type of agreement could be seen as a model for other countries struggling with gender inequalities in marital relationships. Instead of following traditional models that perpetuate gender roles, Iceland demonstrates that new forms of commitment based on mutual respect and equality can be created. For men, it sounds tempting to be paid to marry and be with a beautiful blonde like those in Iceland. But the reality is different. The idea of being bought by an Icelandic woman with purchasing power, having a stable life, and being with a woman who embodies beauty, independence, and strength may sound like a dream come true. But what seems like an attractive offer often hides a more complex and emotionally charged reality. The temptation of power and stability. Imagine living in a place where women have the ability to offer you everything you could want: financial security, a comfortable life, a partner who is strong, capable, and makes you feel admired. Sounds tempting, right? Paying for marriage in Iceland, where women set the price for having a man by their side, may seem like a unique and irresistible deal for any man seeking financial stability without the traditional pressures of having to provide or lead in the relationship. Icelandic women have real power in their relationships. In a country that promotes gender equality and where women have achieved positions of power in politics, business, and more, they are not only in control of their lives, but also of their romantic relationships. Men, instead of feeling pressured to meet expectations of providing and supporting, see their role in the relationship redefined. In a way, it's liberating. Women have all the control, and, in theory, men can enjoy a comfortable life without the typical stresses of being the provider. A paradise or a prison of expectations. However, like anything that seems too good to be true, the reality of marrying an Icelandic woman under these conditions can become an emotional trap for many men. Although the offer of stability and security may be attractive at first, feelings of helplessness and frustration can soon arise. Men who initially feel relieved not to have to bear the financial responsibility of the relationship may find themselves trapped in a dynamic where decisions and control over the couple's life are firmly in the hands of the woman. This seemingly egalitarian power situation can lead men to feel less valued. The woman, with her independence and dominance of the situation, can put pressure on the man that goes beyond the financial. In many cases, the man is relegated to a secondary role in the relationship, one that does not necessarily involve his voice or his desires. What seemed like an easy solution can quickly feel like a sentence of silence. Testimonials of regret. Juan, a Spaniard who married an Icelandic woman, recounts his experience. At first, everything seemed perfect. She was successful, beautiful, and the idea of not having to worry about money was tempting. But over time, I realized that I had no real role in our relationship. She made all the decisions, and I was just an accessory. At first, it didn't bother me, but soon I felt invisible. Not only was I losing my independence, but also my identity in the relationship. I regretted accepting her offer. Mark, an American who was also seduced by the Icelandic offer, says, "When I arrived in Iceland, I thought I had found the perfect woman. But I soon realized that I had everything I could want, yet something was still missing. She was in complete control, and I was just a spectator. Important decisions were made without my input. The love felt empty. I deeply regret getting involved in such a relationship." The emotional price of power. It is clear that the temptation of a comfortable life without financial worries in Iceland is not enough to build a solid and happy relationship. What at first seems like an equal arrangement, where women are in control, can become a destructive dynamic for men who are looking for more than just financial stability. Although women in Iceland have power, this power often comes with expectations that are not only financial but also emotional. For some men, what seems like a purchase of love and stability turns into an emotional prison where their independence and voice are silenced. The lack of balance in the relationship becomes too high a price to pay, and what seemed like an attractive offer turns into an experience of regret. The duality of the offer. Is it worth it? At first, the offer of a successful and empowered woman seems like paradise, but it can soon become a lonely race in which the man becomes a secondary figure in the relationship. What begins as a dream come true of stability and beauty can soon become a constant reminder that a woman's power is valuable, and it can be an emotional burden for those who expect more than just financial security. In Iceland, where female empowerment is the norm, men who immerse themselves in this culture of marriage payments may discover that the true price of happiness in a relationship is not always about money, but about equality and mutual respect. If you're not going to Iceland to get paid to marry, at least go to discover one of the most fascinating destinations in the world. Iceland, an island in the heart of the North Atlantic, is much more than its reputation as a place with empowered women who pay for marriage. This country, with its wild nature and breathtaking landscapes, offers a unique experience for travelers looking for something truly different. From towering glaciers to natural hot springs, every corner of Iceland is imbued with indescribable beauty that leaves a mark on the soul of those who visit it. Nature in Iceland is simply majestic. The country boasts landscapes as diverse as snow-capped mountains, dazzling waterfalls, bubbling geysers, and vast lava fields. Every corner of the island seems to hold a new wonder to discover. One of the biggest attractions is the famous Golden Circle, home to some of the country's most iconic destinations. There you can marvel at the impressive Gullfoss waterfall, whose waters fall into a dramatic gorge, or explore Thingvellir National Park, where the rift between the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates is located. For glacier lovers, Iceland is the ideal place. The Vatnajökull Glacier, the largest in Europe, offers you the opportunity to walk on ice, explore ice caves, and marvel at the force of nature. The experience of being surrounded by this frozen landscape, bright white and blue, is something that few destinations can offer. The Northern Lights, a natural spectacle. One of nature's most impressive spectacles is undoubtedly the aurora borealis. Iceland is one of the best places in the world to witness this natural phenomenon that lights up the sky with green, violet, and red colors. Seeing the northern lights dance across the dark sky is a mystical and unique experience. The magic of this phenomenon is such that many tourists visit Iceland exclusively to witness this celestial wonder. If you are lucky enough to be on the island during the winter months, the northern lights will leave you speechless. You can enjoy them in remote locations, far from light pollution, or even from an outdoor thermal pool, which makes the experience even more special. Geothermalism, the luxury of nature. Iceland is a paradise for lovers of wellness and relaxation. The Blue Lagoon, one of the country's most visited destinations, is a geothermal lagoon surrounded by black lava, with mineral-rich waters that have healing properties. Floating in its warm waters while the cold air envelops you is an unparalleled experience that rejuvenates body and mind. This complex, located near Reykjavik, is one of the most famous spas in the world, and a true oasis for those seeking to disconnect and relax in a natural environment. Iceland's geothermal energy is also evident in its many natural hot springs, perfect for a relaxing bath in the midst of wild nature. Whether in the Golden Circle, on the outskirts of Reykjavik, or in the most isolated corners of the island, you will find numerous pools and hot springs where you can immerse yourself in warm waters while enjoying the surrounding landscapes. An island steeped in history and culture. Iceland is not only known for its natural beauty, but also for its rich history and culture. Reykjavik, the country's capital, is a vibrant city that combines modernity and tradition. Here, you can explore museums such as the National Museum of Iceland, which will take you through Viking history, or enjoy contemporary architecture such as the spectacular Harpa Concert Hall. The colorful wooden houses in the city center create a cozy and picturesque atmosphere, and the small cafes invite you to relax and enjoy the local vibe. Icelanders have a strong connection to nature, and their mythology is full of legends about elves, trolls, and earth spirits. You can immerse yourself in these stories by visiting places such as the Elves' Cave or the Old Troll Forests, where magic and tradition can be found around every corner. Adventures for the more intrepid. Iceland is a perfect destination for the most adventurous travelers. If you love outdoor activities, don't miss a snowmobile tour of the glaciers or a hike through the lava desert. For the bravest, the island also offers the opportunity to engage in extreme activities such as ice climbing, whitewater rafting, or exploring volcanic caves. One of the most exciting destinations is Landmannalaugar, a hiker's paradise where the landscapes seem like something from another planet. The vibrantly colored mountains, lava fields, and hot springs make every step in this territory an unforgettable adventure. The Laugavegur trekking route, which runs from Landmannalaugar to Thorsmörk, is one of the most popular and offers some of the best views of Icelandic nature. A destination that has it all. Iceland has something to offer every type of traveler. From the calm of its hot springs to the thrill of exploring glaciers and volcanoes, from the wonder of seeing the northern lights to the delight of savoring a gourmet dinner in Reykjavik, the island is a place that captivates everyone who visits it. Icelandic hospitality, a welcoming atmosphere, and safety make this destination an ideal place for any traveler. Ultimately, Iceland is not just a place to see, but to experience. Every corner of this island invites you to stop, breathe, and appreciate nature in its purest form. It is a country that is not only worth visiting, but one that leaves a deep impression on your heart, an experience that you will struggle to find anywhere else in the world. Beyond being a tourist spot, culturally, Iceland is a fascinating and unique destination, full of customs and traditions. This small Nordic country, with its rich Viking history and unique relationship with nature, is much more than breathtaking landscapes. Its culture offers a profound journey through traditions that have endured over the centuries. A culture of myths and legends. Icelandic culture is strongly influenced by its Viking heritage, and it is not uncommon to find traces of that history in everyday life. Icelanders are known for their belief in folklore, particularly in the existence of elves, trolls, and other mythological creatures. The relationship with nature is so deep that even today, some people believe that supernatural beings inhabit the rocks and hills of the country. The legends of the Huldufolk, the hidden people, are famous, and many Icelanders still believe that nature spirits can influence their lives. The fascination with these myths is reflected in festivals such as Thorrablot, a celebration of Viking tradition that takes place every winter. During this festival, Icelanders dress in traditional costumes and enjoy a series of dishes that recall the customs of their ancestors. This event is not only a popular festival, but also a way to connect with the past, remembering ancient Viking beliefs and practices. Icelandic cuisine, flavors that tell stories. Icelandic cuisine is as unique as its culture. Icelandic food is deeply influenced by the country's natural environment. Fresh ingredients are essential, but there is also a strong focus on food preservation through traditional methods. Fish, especially cod, trout, and salmon, are the basis of many local recipes. Hákarl, a dish considered a traditional delicacy, is one of Iceland's most notorious. It consists of fermented and cured shark meat, a delicacy for some and a challenge for others due to its strong flavor and pungent aroma. Another typical dish is lamb, which is served in a variety of ways. From stews to roasts, Icelandic lambs are raised in the wild, giving them a unique and distinctive flavor. Skyr, a type of thick yogurt, is another staple of the Icelandic diet, enjoyed not only as a dessert, but also used in soups and salads. Iceland is also known for its fondness for alcoholic beverages, especially brennivin, a strong-tasting aquavit that is traditionally served with hákarl during Thorrablot celebrations. Alcoholic beverages are an important aspect of Icelandic social culture and are enjoyed at family gatherings and festivities. Icelandic music, the voice of the people. Music in Iceland is not just an art form. It is a way of expressing the people's deep connection to their land and history. Iceland has been the birthplace of internationally renowned artists such as Björk and Sigur Rós, whose ethereal and unique melodies have conquered the world. Icelandic music encompasses a wide variety of genres, from experimental pop to classical music and traditional folk. The music scene in Reykjavik is vibrant and diverse, with concerts in every corner of the city, from the smallest bars to large international venues. Icelandic folk music has its roots in ancient Viking traditions, and many traditional songs are sung a cappella, or accompanied by acoustic guitars, with lyrics that often reflect the harsh living conditions on the island and the people's relationship with nature. Music festivals in Iceland, such as Iceland Airwaves, are a vibrant mix of contemporary music and traditional sounds, attracting thousands of tourists every year. The Icelandic language, a language that connects with the past. Icelandic is one of the oldest and least changed languages in the world. Unlike many modern languages, Icelandic has preserved much of its original form, allowing today's speakers to read Viking sagas written over 1,000 years ago. This connection to the past makes the language a fundamental part of Icelandic identity. Icelandic is spoken throughout the country, and its use is deeply rooted in everyday life. While most Icelanders speak English fluently, Icelandic remains the language of family, school, and politics. The language is also an important tool for keeping the country's literary traditions alive, including the Icelandic sagas, epic narratives that tell the stories of the Vikings and their descendants, customs and traditions that define the Icelandic character. Iceland is also a country with unique customs. One of the most beloved is the tradition of Jólabókaflóð, or Christmas book flood, an event that occurs every year during Christmas. Icelanders have a custom of giving books to their loved ones during this time of year, and the tradition of reading them in front of the fireplace is one of the country's most deeply rooted customs. This passion for reading is one of the reasons why Iceland has one of the highest rates of authors per capita in the world. Icelandic culture also has a very close relationship with the outdoors. Icelanders enjoy activities such as hiking, fishing, and skiing. But what really sets Icelanders apart is their love of geothermal pools. The island has more than 170 public pools, and many Icelanders spend time relaxing in them, not only for their therapeutic benefits, but also as a way to socialize and connect with the community. Every corner of Iceland has something to offer those willing to discover its deepest soul. Can you imagine living in a place where nature, culture, and history merge into a unique experience? Iceland is much more than a tourist destination. It is a journey to the heart of a land full of wonders. If this video has fascinated you, don't miss the next ones. There will be more incredible destinations, surprising traditions, and hidden secrets from places around the world. Subscribe now and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Join this adventure and discover more about the most amazing corners of the planet. See you in the next video.